So my name's Mannie and I am a performer and waiter part-time who's super into the performing arts, anything theatre. I identify as a cis gay male. Currently I'm single, so... So today I get the honour to meet the amazing humans behind Switchboard. A lot of information that LGBT people are desperate for about sexual health, you know. As hard as it may seem to come across it is out there and it is accessible. You just need to find the right people, and Switchboard is definitely somewhere that can provide that. And then later on, we are gonna have a really fun photo shoot, which I'm personally also very excited for. So you obviously get to hear a lot about different people's journeys and through their life in your job. Tell me a little bit about your own identity and your journey.
So I identify as a trans woman. I came out when I was, how old was I? 18, 19, maybe a little bit older. I think moving to Brighton for me was like finding your tribe, that kind of that cliche saying of finding your tribe. 100% did. I was meeting queer people for the first time and just kind of really blown away. Even little things. I remember watching Drag Race for the first time, and to me that living at home in the north was mad because it's
like another world.
Exactly. For me, that was my first time seeing a man wear makeup and a dress and impersonate a woman, and I was like, whoa, that's possible. And again, it'd be celebrated, and it was kind of almost like, where has this world been? How my world just suddenly turned kind of Technicolor, which sounds really cliche to sort of and I guess just having that permission to explore, and it really being as easy as I think I want to use they them pronouns or she her pronouns, and it was like, okay.
A lot of people don't have that, and then they sort of feel isolated, and then they just think that because they don't see themselves around themselves that, then I'm wrong. And especially when gay and queer sex is seen as a taboo, it's touched on just so people can say, especially in schools and stuff, we've mentioned it, so it's checked off the list, but it goes so much deeper than that into, inspiring young people to feel their own worth, because they don't, and then they end up in sexual situations that aren't, that aren't safe.
Then you're still empowered to say no or
say yes. They aren't empowered to say no or to refuse consent or to talk about protection and testing and stuff. And because sex and identity, it's a journey. As a queer person myself, obviously, a question that I find myself asking a lot of the times is the importance of labels, and do I need to use them? I don't know, what are your opinions on labels, and do you use them yourself?
I think that they can be helpful, but I don't think that they're necessary. I think it's only if you want to use them and not being too restrictive about it. So just remembering that labels can change over time, and that's okay.
How people identify can absolutely be fluid and can change over time. If our brains mature over time, and the way, some kids when they're born don't like broccoli, then by the time you're 25, you really like broccoli. So if you change as you age, that's absolutely okay.
So exploring your sexuality can also be a really fun journey, but it does have its downsides too. I mean, a lot of my friends have been asking, tips or advice on coming out. So could you guys give a few tips, or what are your sort of...
Yeah, I mean, I think because we live in an age where there's luckily National Coming Out Day and things like that, which is a great thing, and it should be celebrated coming out, but I also think it's important that people keep themselves safe as well.
Yes.
So there shouldn't be feeling pressure to come out, you should come out when you feel ready.
You doing you, basically, and coming out when you want and whenever you feel ready, to whoever you want, really. I think there's such an expectation on kind of that you have to come out, and you have to come out right now, and everyone needs to know, and it has to be this whole big deal. And it really doesn't. It can literally just be a WhatsApp message, just a text bringing your partner home, or just, a simple conversation with friends. It doesn't have to be this whole massive ordeal,
Well, guys, I've had such a good time today, just learning all about the work that Switchboard do, and just hearing about the fact that you guys get to live such an LGBTQ-centric life and helping that community at the same time too. It's just amazing. And yeah, I've had a great time.
We've had a great time. It's lovely meeting you.
You too.
Definitely.